call this meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Please take your seats. There was an executive session held on December 18th to discuss possible litigation and personnel. Roll call, please.
Meister. Savage. Here. Roches.
Here.
Barnhart.
Here.
Martina.
Is there any public comment on agenda items at this time? Any public comment on agenda items at this time? Okay, there is no old business, but there is new business. Mr. Backer.
So I'm looking for a vote for the first reading of a subdivision of land ordinance or a SALDO ordinance and request permission to advertise for the special meeting for 1/6/25. That's per requirements of amending a zoning ordinance. We have to have a public hearing on it. It's just changed. We changed some definitions and updated processes in the ordinance for land development and subdivisions.
All right, any questions for anyone? All right, I'll make the motion to have Mr. Backer advertise for the special meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Meister.
Yes.
Savage.
Yes.
Roches.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Martina.
Yes.
Keep going, Mr. Backer.
Looking for the vote and affirmative for the first reading of principal solar ordinance and permission to advertise for the public hearing for 1/6/25.
I'll make that a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Martina.
Yes.
Ister.
Yes.
Savage. Abstain. Roches.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Keep going, Mr. Backer.
I'm looking for permission to advertise for the for a public meeting for the central business changes to amend the zoning ordinance on 1/6/25.
Second.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Martina.
Yes.
Savage. Yes. Ister.
Yes.
Roches.
Yes. Keep going, Mr. Backer.
Looking for a vote in the affirmative for change order number 7 for Susquehanna Avenue. It's we put an extra manhole in, did some work for unmarked sewer laterals and fittings and inlets. It's an increase of $16,652.27 to $3,318,481.36 for the contract.
Just a quick question. Why did it take so long for the change order to come through if the project's already finished?
So they have to go through, quantities. They work with the contractor and the engineer to go through quantities, review quantities. They do measurements. They take a look at timesheets.
I get it. I understand it because it looked like it was it looked like it was issued in March, and now we're finally accepting the change order. Obviously, the work's already done. We have to pay them, but it's like at the top of the one that you gave us here. So it said like it was. The date issue was March 27th, and now we're just approving the change order now in December. Obviously, we're going to pay for it because the work was done. It's just why did it take so long for us to get it here to approve it.
So date issued, I believe, is for the actual original contract. The change, if you look across to the right, the change order was December 10th.
Yeah, but the work was already done. Obviously we're going to pay for it, but like the work, we're accepting the change order after the work was already done. That's like trying to say, hey, I want to work on your car, I'm going to do the work, and then bill you later and not even tell you. Which is fine, we have to pay. I'm just wondering, like we're asking for we're asking to accept the change order after the work was already done. It just doesn't make sense. That's just my own opinion. Jimmy, I don't know. You're involved in it a lot. I just didn't know why.
It's always the way it is until the engineer comes back and does the final inspection. So the decision made by the engineer.
I know we needed the extra. Yeah, we needed the extra man, which I get. I completely support it. But it's just like the work was already done. Now we're saying, all right, we're going to bill you after the fact that we didn't vote to make the change, which is fine.
A situation where I think what you read there was some other items of sewer line they were trying to find and so forth. So that was, in other words, you had to take it, do the project, find out what was going on.
No, I'm fine. Like this, it just doesn't make sense that we did the work and then, all right, we're going to accept the change. But that's just me. All right, so I'll make the motion to accept it.
Second. Barnhart.
Yes.
Martina.
Yes.
Ister. Savage. Yes. Roches.
Yes. Keep going, Mr. Backer.
There's a contribution agreement. PennDOT's doing work on South 2nd Street. They're redoing inlets, the roadway up from where Front Street and South 2nd starts, and then all the way to the exit of Veteran Memorial Bridge. They're doing the work in between there on South 2nd Street. They want to use the grant funds that were awarded to the city through this, PA ARPA Small Water Sewer, which is $241,791 toward that project, and anything that goes above and beyond of the cost in that roadway above that amount, they're going to pay for. They just want to use those funds in their project. Their engineer will take care of everything. They'll do all the permitting. They'll do everything. They just want to use our grant funds for that project, which that grant funds were meant for that project anyway. So they need an agreement from the city, which they sent us and Joel reviewed, which allows them to access those funds.
So those funds were already allocated to do that portion of South 2nd Street, and they're just asking to use those funds, is that right?
Yeah, so instead of us basically doing the project, they'll do the whole project and just take those funds and do everything that.
I just want to make sure the funds weren't allocated for somewhere else, and they were like, oh, we're going to put them here instead of, not their original usage.
No,
The
they,
grant is written for South 2nd Street in conjunction with the municipal authority.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
Since then, the state has stepped in and said, we want to do more than what you guys are going to do, so now they're working with the municipal authority.
Yeah, that was like on the buyback, correct?
No, not yet, not the buyback.
So this is different from the buyback.
turn back.
Excuse me.
We're not buying
I
it.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Just
No,
for Francis doesn't write
goal,
that.
but this is tied into the bypass project. So
okay.
the state has stepped in with the municipal authority. Once we pass that check off, we're out of the picture.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically.
Question?
Anyhow, good job.
I have one more question. So if we vote to give the grants over, who, does the grant reporting and everything go back to who?
I'll double check with them on that one, but from my understanding, they're just keeping the money in-house and it doesn't have to flow through us and they're just using it at the state level
Okay.
for the whole project, but I will confirm that.
Thank you.
Councilman Ister made the motion, I will second.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Martina.
Yes.
Savage.
Yes.
Ister. Yes. Procius.
Yes. Moving on, hiring of police candidates. Chief, I don't know if you want to speak a little bit about the two officers we'll be hiring here tonight?
Yes, so Andrew Plank and Krista Leote, seated in the back of the room. Both cadets have completed the Act 120 at the Harrisburg Area Community College. It's a 6-month program, which the city sponsored. Both graduated basically with great grades. On the 21st, they took their state exam, both passed with great grades. And they went through their state certification, and they're certified. Graduation was on the 22nd, I believe.
21st.
21st, okay, so that's the 20th. Graduation was the 21st. Myself and Sergeant Slack attended the graduation, the break ceremony. They graduated over 50 in your class? 45. They started with 50?
Correct.
Yeah. So they graduated with 55 of the class. At this point, I asked that we would bring both cadets on, full-time probationary officers. The first one will be Andrew Plank, start date of January 1st of 2025, and Krista Leote as a start date of January 2nd, 2025, and that would be for the seniority list as where they stand with the civil service.
All right, questions, anyone? All right, so I will make the motion to hire Andrew Plank for a start date of January 1st, 2025, and Chris Leote as January 2nd, 2025, as a full-time probationary officer. Do I have a second?
A second.
Ister.
Yes.
Savage.
Yes.
Martina.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes. And now we'll have Andrew start with his oath of office.
She probably did that. Yeah, he's dead.
Please raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Andrew Blank,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support,
that I will support,
obey, and defend
obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth,
and I will discharge
and I will discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Congratulations.
Discharge my weapon. I'll discharge my weapon with accuracy. Yeah. There's another target to
Should I go back
Now,
around?
you know.
Just lock myself in. Thank you.
You should change the color of my hair. Yeah.
Sir? Krista, if you want to come on up. Please raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Christina,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support,
that I will support,
obey, and defend
obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of
Most
the
people
Commonwealth,
and I will discharge
and I will discharge
the duties of my office
Especially the school board.
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I think your books would be in knots when I jump off one of my wisecracks. Because for Thanksgiving, she says like, so, Julie, will you be cooking? And I said, I'm cooking with gas. She's like,
Thank you. Thank you all.
who'd you wait to? Oh.
Moving on here to code group resolution. Joel, have you speak about this real quick?
Sure. I was approached by some members of United Way, whereby they want to partner with a nonprofit in the city to provide shelter for those who don't have shelter or were affected during the extreme weather of the winter. For that reason, we need to adopt a resolution agreeing to allow a certain nonprofit to provide that shelter by and through the United Way before the United Way is able to deal with the nonprofit. So the first resolution that we have is just an enabling resolution, enabling the city to move forward with the Code Blue service by and through an unnamed nonprofit. The second resolution then is for the city to partner with the America's Hose Company in order to allow them to work with the United Way to provide the shelter from cold-related exposure. And the third thing that we would be asking for a motion to approve is an agreement between the city of Sunbury and the America's Hose Company to allow this Code Blue to take effect. Now, I will say that this will have no cost for the city. The United Way covers all of the costs, and this has not, to my best of my knowledge, yet been approved by the America's Hose Company because they can't do so until we do this. So they will be speaking with United Way after we're able to move forward with this resolution, the two resolutions, and the agreement. That's all I have.
Any questions, anyone? All right, so I'll make the motion to accept the Code Blue resolution. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Ister. Savage.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Procius.
Yes.
Martina.
Yes.
All right, so for the next one here, sweep committee for a 5-year term. So I met with the sweep committee board, and they wanted to go from a 1-year term for their board members to a 5-year term, just due to their nonprofits and having to sign the paperwork yearly. I mean, since they began, it was the same members from the beginning till current day, and that's why they're asking to make it a longer term just for the paperwork process. Kurt wanted me to bring that for a vote, and does anyone have any? I mean, I think there's some that are staggered on the boards that we have.
We have initial one-year terms for most of them, 1, 2, 3, and 4, then after that, they go to 5.
Okay.
Once their first term's over, most of them go to 5.
Most of them go.
Yeah, most of them go to 5.
Any questions, any other questions, anyone?
They're not named in the ordinance, right? They're not.
No,
No, they're just their own separate. Questions, anyone? All right, so I'll make the motion to make the sweep committee board members a 5-year term. Do I have a second?
Second.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Martina.
Yes.
Ister. Savage. Procius.
Yes. Councilman Savage.
I will make a motion for the approval of abstracts and vouchers for private grants in the amount of $111,506.05 and payroll in the amount of $70,110.51.
Procius.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Martina.
Yes.
Ister. Savage.
Yes.
Moving on to discussion items here. In your group of papers there, the street committee had a breakdown, like to, not obviously tonight, but look to purchase some stewardess educational signs from Ad 1. Just basic information about all the things that have taken place and the environmental effects of the sweet park has in the environment there. They like to purchase those signs. Kurt does not have a price of them yet. He just wanted to see what is printed will be acceptable from the council. And also in there, you'll see at the top some of the updates that they have through about the 2024 year. I'll just go through a couple of them here, how they had over 852 volunteer hours, over 225 volunteers throughout the year show up. How the street committee, Boy Scout Troop 333, Boy Scout Troop 610B, Girl Scout Troop 610G, and the different other organizations that have helped them throughout the year of 2024. So that was a little update that Kurt wanted me and the committee wanted me to give for sweep. Does anybody have any questions about the information that would be on these stewardess educational signs?
I know we're gonna put up a street. Do they have a spot to put it yet?
I'm not really sure on that. I know a lot of the stuff it goes next to where their benches are and it is throughout their trail, but I don't know the exact location of where they'll be going at. That's where the committee decides to put them. But we can ask Kurt more details, or maybe it's one of those things, once we know how many signs we're going to have, we can just figure out how we want to disperse them equally throughout the park. All right. Moving on here to announcements. The Ugly Sweater Contest party will be at the ice skating rink on December 29th at 4 p.m. New Year's Eve celebration will take place at the ice skating rink going from 12:30 to 3:30. That is free for all who attend and light refreshments while supplies last. And then downtown at Cameron Park from 8 to a little bit after midnight, with some bands, vendors, the football games on, and then the Edison light bulb lighting up and fireworks to follow. City Hall will be closed on Christmas Day and New Year's Day, and closing early prior to Christmas Eve at noon and New Year's Eve at noon. The public meeting for January 13th at 5 p.m. to discuss the public amusement fees, and the next city council meeting will be held here after that meeting, January 13th at 6:15. Now are there any other announcements? All right, and now, are there any public comment at this time? Please state your name.
Jody Offord, Executive Director for Sunbury Revitalization, and I'm very pleased to introduce you to Mark Walsh. He is our new downtown ambassador. So he's been hired by SRI, but his position is funded by a grant from the Blueprint Communities Program. And this is hopefully our first step into maybe a future Main Street program. He's going to be a significant and vital liaison between the businesses downtown and also communicating all of the wonderful things that are happening in Sunbury. Should I say anything, Mark?
My name is Mark Walsh. He told you exactly what I've been hired to do, took the words right out of my mouth. I look forward to increasing foot traffic, tourism, and everything else around. So
right.
I look forward to working with you guys.
Awesome, thank you, sir. Thank
Oh,
you.
do you have a time for the January 6th meeting?
5 PM.
5 PM?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other public comment at this time? Any other public comment at this time? I adjourn this meeting.